joining me now, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani. Many thanks for joining us on News Extra.
Thank you, Yara. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, good to have you. As Chimdimap mentioned in that report, the ministry has a blueprint. Could you tell us what the pillars are?
Absolutely. I think we have to first recognize the fact that our country is being led at this time by a president with very strong clarity in terms of how to articulate the desires of our people, but also the aspiration of the nation, our collective aspiration to actually have a nation that is developed and inclusive in that way. And that's why you notice that the president started out with very clear 8 presidential priorities. But when you look at all those priorities, you can see that there's a requirement for technology to actually be applied to help significantly achieve those objectives, whether you're talking about food security and what technologies can do to help in agriculture, or you're talking about ending poverty and what technologies can do to help raise and create new jobs, or you're talking about security and the role of technology. So what we did when I was appointed as a minister was to actually engage both the private sector but also the public sector in understanding the state of the ecosystem, the state of the sector. As you remember, Nigeria is one of the most attractive markets on the African continent for technology. Our telecommunications sector, for instance, is the highest grossing on the continent. Most of the MNOs that you say in Nigeria are the largest on the continent. At the moment, that sector contributes anywhere between 15 to 18% to the GDP of the country, which shows the significant power that it has. But the possibilities of the digital economy, it doesn't end in its contribution to GDP or how it is seen as just another sector. The digital economy in itself is the opportunity for us to raise the level of productivity across key sectors in Nigeria. So what we did was to articulate strongly how we can accelerate the growth of that sector to help achieve the objective of the president. So we came up with 5 clear pillars which are part of our agenda of how we intend to drive the growth of the sector. And the first one is what we call knowledge. Knowledge for us is an understanding that you cannot drive the application of technology if you don't have the prerequisite knowledge that is required. And under that, you will find knowledge to be to include the workforce that is required to be able to apply technology strongly. You'll find knowledge to include research. And the third part of knowledge for us is digital literacy. That there's a need for the average Nigerian to be digitally literate to be able to engage, of course, with technology. The second one is policy. Policy for us is about reimagining how we structure the policy that government is coming up with for the technology ecosystem to ensure that we're not only using policies as a way of regulating, but we're using policy as an opportunity to actually open up our economy for technology to help us leapfrog it. And the third one is infrastructure, understanding that you can't truly have a digital economy if you don't have the backbone infrastructure that you require to make it work. And infrastructure in this case includes the fiber optic network, which makes it possible for everyone in the country, regardless of your location, to be able to have access to good quality internet. The second one for us is our satellite. As you know, Nigeria is the only country in West Africa with a satellite. And this satellite offers significant opportunity for us to actually deepen our digital economy. The third one is our NIPOST, for instance, also, which includes the ability of people to be able to trade digitally, but also move the goods around also in person and physically as well. So that's how we're looking at infrastructure, ensuring that we can continue to deepen and invest in infrastructure. And this is something that the president is extremely interested in, is extremely passionate about it. It was part of the conversation at FEC today. The fourth pillar of this strategic blueprint is focused on innovation, entrepreneurship, and capital. Understanding that Nigeria cannot truly make the most of technology if we don't empower the entrepreneurs and the innovators that are going to build on it.
Brilliant.
And of course, lastly is trade. That not only do we want to build technology solutions that we use locally, but we can also export to the rest of the world as well.
That's a brilliant package, I must tell you. Well, we also understand that the 3MTT program is the largest talent accelerator globally. Can you give us details of the program and how it will impact the populace and the economy? Will it actually encourage homegrown solutions?
Oh, it will. If you follow what's been happening on the continent and in Nigeria in particular for the last probably 10, 15 years, you will notice that there's been significant growth in locally produced technology solutions. You see the large financial technology companies, which are some of the best on the African continent. We call them unicorn in the technology sector, which literally means companies that are now worth over $1 billion. We have more than 6 or 7 of those in Nigeria today. They started out of Nigeria. They've grown beyond Nigeria into so many other markets as well. But you cannot continue to see many more of this if you don't continue to grow the technology talent pool.
Which you intend to do.
That's what the 3MTT is about. But also pay attention to the fact that technology is now part of our daily lives. Everything we do, there's a technology around us. And
talking about, you know, being part of our daily lives, I understand that you're also trying to drive Project 774 local governments.
We are looking to do that.
What would be the gains of that?
We are looking to do that, but just to quickly touch on this. So globally, there's a large shortage of technology talent because most of the developed world, they have aging population, and also they're not giving birth to kids, but we have very youthful population. So Nigeria has the opportunity to actually become the net exporter of technology talent, not only for the companies locally, but also abroad as well. So to touch on what you were talking about, so we're investing significantly in raising talent. The government wants to train 3 million technology talent in Nigeria. And we've started that. We've received over 1.7 million applications from all the local governments in Nigeria. And we started with 30,000 of them. Those are now rounding off their training this month. And we've announced a new batch, which is 270,000 people that are also now starting in the month of March. But we're extending it. We understand that if we train this talent, there's also opportunity for us to start to deepen how we use technology in government. So government is leveraging existing investment in our satellites, in our broadband and fiber optic network by ensuring that we can give internet access to all the 774 local governments in Nigeria, all of them. So we've actually started that installation. I think there's been about close to 10 or so local government secretariats now in Kogi State that have been connected in the last 1 or 2 weeks. We've moved to Imo State. Samfara is going to be the next. In the next 6 months, we will complete in 10 different states. But we're not just putting internet into these local government secretariats. We're also installing computer labs in those secretariats. There will be digital literacy training for all the staff members of this local government secretariat, but also there will be opportunity for people who live around the secretariat to be able to come into the secretariat for digital literacy training.
I must say that's a fantastic plan, and of course, if this pulls through at the end of the day, it would improve our economy in general. But just before I let you go, on a final note, is devs in government a means of entrenching e-governance? What really is the purpose?
No, absolutely, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president that has tried extensively in Lagos to use technology to change government. And that's the same thing he's looking to see within the federal government. And we understand that you can't really scale the use of technology if you don't have the workforce with a good understanding of how to use technology, but how to also deploy it effectively to help in the delivery of public goods and services. So we've started devs in government as an opportunity to bring all the technologies within the civil service together and to serve as a platform through which they can exchange knowledge, through which they can share ideas, through which we can share information with them. But I think most importantly, a knowledge also for capacity building for all the technologies in government. Because we understand that by doing this, we have the workforce and the army of people that can actually help us achieve our goal of digitalizing public services.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bosun Tijani. It's been enlightening talking with you on News Extra. Of course, wish you the best as you continue to achieve your mandate as the Minister of the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy.
Thank you, Yari.